The leader of an armed militia in Oregon that occupied government property has been arrested, along with several of his companions. At least one person, though, was killed during the arrest and another injured. Al Jazeera's Gabe Elizondo has been following this story since the standoff began at the beginning of January. He joins us now live from New York. Gabe, what more do we know?
Well, it's been 24 days since those armed militia members occupied that wildlife refuge in a rural part of Oregon. I can tell you, dramatic turn of events. At about 4:30 p.m. local time in Oregon, the FBI and Oregon State Police conducted an operation, and they confronted a caravan of militia members on a highway outside of the wildlife refuge. It appears that Ammon Bundy, the leader of the militia group, along with several other militia members, were on their way to a community meeting nearby when the FBI stopped them on a highway. A gunfight erupted. 5 militia members were taken into custody, including the leader, Ammon Bundy. Another militia member was shot but only had minor injuries. A 6th person, a militia member who has not been officially identified yet by the FBI, but whose sources tell me was LaVoy Finicum, was killed. That's significant because Finicum was actually the number 2 person right behind Ammon Bundy. He was often the spokesperson for the group. So 5 arrested there, 1 killed. Simultaneously, after that happened, the FBI conducted another operation in the same area, arrested 2 more militia members. All of them have been charged with conspiracy, a federal crime, a conspiracy to impede federal law enforcement officers. It's unclear if this was an organized FBI operation or if they just happened to be in the area and somehow stumbled upon this convoy. The details of the arrest and of the shooting have not been revealed yet. I can tell you, at the refuge, there are still some militia members there. But what their fate is going to be is still unclear.
Just briefly, Gabe, give us some background to all of this. As we said a few moments ago, this standoff at this government property has been going on since the beginning of the year, and yet the people who were holed up in there were arrested outside of the property on their way to a meeting. What was going on?
That's right. The core militia members that overtook this refuge were not actually from Oregon, the majority of them. They were mostly from Arizona. Ammon Bundy's a very well-known militia leader. His father led a similar protest last year elsewhere. They went to Oregon, these militia members, and they overtook this refuge because they had a whole list of demands. But what it boiled down to is they wanted federal grazing lands that the federal government owned or managed to be turned over to local ranchers. That was their key fight. That was what they wanted done, and that's what they were trying to bring attention to. They had other demands as well, but that was the key one. It really divided the local community in Oregon, the ranchers there. Half of them were against this occupation. Another half were actually for it. There's a big countercurrent against the federal government by a lot of rural ranchers, and that's what these militia members were trying to harness. The exact, as you mentioned, this has been going on for about a month now, this standoff, and they were going to some sort of meeting outside of the compound when this all went down. More details will be coming out soon, but clearly a big development here.
Gabe, many thanks. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Elizondo reporting live there from New York.